It was January 26, 1788, when 11 ships called the First Fleet arrived in Port Jackson of Sydney, Australia. The ships were from Britain and led by Captain Arthur Phillip. The British on the ships were mainly convicts and Marines, and they slowly colonized Australia. The question is often asked, why is it that some regions have more power than others, or why is it that different groups of people around the world advance technologically at such drastically different rates? How come, while some cultures had not yet managed to domesticate animals and crops, others were steadily building up empires? As we dive into this question, we look at two very different regions. Eurasia, a combination of Europe and Asia, and Australia. Through this exploration, we will find that Eurasia was obviously dealt much better ecological cards than Australia, and their location was essential for the astounding rate of development they worked at. We will try and answer this in our film, The Eternal Question. Eurasia is a combination of modern-day Asia and Europe, located in the northeastern part of the hemisphere, with terrain ranging from vast mountains to meadows that seem to go on forever. Weather there is typically hot and moist in the summer, and cold and wet in the winter. A problem Eurasia tends to face come springtime is monsoon season. Eurasia has an incredible amount of resources compared to the other continents, ranging from both edible fruits and vegetables to the materials to make housing. The fruits and vegetables come in a variety of shapes and sizes, like the fig, eggplant, and even the peach. While all originate in Eurasia, there's an assortment of solid, sturdy trees like the spruce, pine, and oak tree, all of which are extremely durable to the weather of Eurasia. Many of Eurasia's plant life turned out to be domesticatable, meaning they were able to collect and farm plants like rice, figs, eggplant, and even hemp, which was used to make materials like rope. Many of wild, large animals roaming about Eurasia also happen to be domesticatable, like the horse, which became almost a necessity when traveling large distances. The sheep or chicken for farming meat and materials was also a huge necessity, or the yak, primarily used to pull heavy objects and plow on the farm. Eurasia had very little environmental weaknesses when it came to domesticatable plants and animals. The largely varied landscape could cause problems when certain crops would not be able to thrive in one part of Eurasia versus the other. But this was not a major issue because Eurasia is horizontal. This means the region does not cross hemispheres and is a fairly similar temperature throughout. Not only, though, would the large continent of Eurasia give plenty of room for people to share inventions and for many animals to thrive, but also, with more room comes more people. With more people in small towns and villages comes illness. In result, the closely compact people of Eurasia, living in such close quarters to each other and animals, did not end well. Australia. Australia is the world's smallest continent and lies in the geographic region of Oceania, which also includes New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, and the islands of Polynesia. It lies entirely within the southern hemisphere and is the most isolated in the world. Only 3% of Australian land is not desert shrub. Of this, most is tropical rainforest. It is also 97% desert, regularly experiencing dry, tropical, and subtropical temperatures of more than 100 degrees. A tiny fraction of Australia combines a temperature climate with fertile soil. This southeastern corner, the most viable option for human habitation. Australia ranks lowest among the continents for soil fertility and hosts no native species of seed-bearing grass, root, vegetables, or fruit. Australia is a very bad place to become a farmer because of its lack of native fruits and vegetables. Australia's large marsupials, such as the kangaroo and other mammals, are psychologically too independent and too dangerous for domestication. Australia lacks any big domesticable animals. No cows, horses, sheep, pigs, goats, donkeys, camels, and no llamas. Australia had very little strengths, but it did exhibit some of the most ancient plant species in the world, adapted to hot climate and low rainfall. These included eucalyptus, acacia, as well as some species of beech and conifer. Some benefits, though, of eucalyptus is that it grows faster than any other hardwood, and it will also grow on upland landscapes, reducing pressure on environmentally sensitive areas. The acacia tree is perhaps one of the most useful trees in terms of the goods it produces. Many people are familiar with the acacia wood products, such as flooring, furniture, and boats, but they are not aware of the health benefits the acacia tree offers us. The bark and sap of the tree are used for medical purposes in many parts of the world. While Eurasia had many domesticatable animals, Australia had none. Domesticated animals can be used for food products and materials, and most importantly for transportation and plowing. These benefits made it possible for people in Eurasia to both farm successfully and travel farther. Because Australia didn't have these animals, and because they were completely isolated from the rest of the world, it is natural that they would have developed a much more technologically advanced society. In Europe,